So my alternative bread is, like I said, a keto bread. So it actually uses almond flour as a base, and that takes 3 teaspoons of baking powder. Takes a dash of salt. And we're just going to mix that up like we do for any baking. So going back to this, I think we reached a medium peak stage, as you can see. Like it's become much fuller. The meringue has become much fuller. It's a lot more like condensed, like the bubbles for the foam are very small. But we're using all 6 egg yolks from our egg whites that we used. We're going to mix that with our almond flour and baking powder mixture. And we're going to add about 1/4 cup of melted butter. So like if you know, like the ketogenic diet is like high in fats and proteins and little on carbs, so this is a low carb bread. So this is our melted butter. And I'm not endorsing the ketogenic diet or anything, but I am just giving you like an idea of like an alternative bread and like using the egg whites as a leavener. The leavener the egg whites could also be used in like a souffle as well. This is kind of like the same idea as a souffle. Just want to make sure these ingredients are well incorporated. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take about 1/3 of our egg whites. I'm just going to mix that in. Just going to mix that in with our mixture here. This is just kind of like helps loosen it up a little bit. You just want to fold those in. You don't have to be too gentle here, but when we do the other 2/3 here, we do want to be a little bit gentle because if we get rid of all like the air that's in our egg whites, it's not going to rise as well. This kind of just helps loosen it up so you can incorporate those egg whites. You just want to fold. Okay, so that's a nice consistency. And I'm just going to gently fold in those egg whites. I don't want to put too much pressure. I don't want to really deflate my egg whites. I just want to keep it nice and fluffy. And like folding, like I showed you in a previous video, it's mixing a heavier mixture into a lighter mixture, and you generally scoop up from the bottom and fold over. So I think I'm just going to incorporate the rest here. So I can see it's a little bit lighter in texture. I don't think we deflated the egg whites too much, so it should still give us some rise in the oven. But working with egg whites, it's always a delicate matter, especially if you want to keep those egg whites nice and fluffy. So we're just going to pour that into a greased bread pan. And try and be nice and gentle again because of the egg whites. I've always find that it actually is still a challenge to like get the rise that I want out of it, but even if it doesn't rise that much, it still tastes pretty good. Okay, so I'll see you in 30 minutes. Okay, so this is our alternative bread. This is our ketogenic or low carb bread. See, it rose a little bit, but maybe if we double the recipe, we might have a bigger loaf. But or maybe it was also a trouble mixing our egg whites. But we can slice the piece off, and you'll see that it does have a bread-like texture, a bread-like consistency. Essentially, you can still toast this bread if you want toast, and a little bit of butter. The ketogenic community also makes bread out of this, but obviously it would be a bigger loaf. But it's still pretty tasty.